Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. We are installing a very long downspout drain, and we also attached yard drains. You can see all the things that we hooked up. Downspouts. This picks up the entire side of the house, plus it picks up this side of the house. If you look down through here, we picked up downspouts way back in the back. This is all 4-inch corrugated pipe, and it's got a good downhill run, and it comes all the way out here to the street. Once we get to the street, we had to install a catch basin. We needed this because the water from the street pours across and actually gets trapped between this catch basin and that sidewalk. And you can see we've got a nice trench. We're just cleaning up this job, but look at the flow just from the garden hose. Tremendous flow with corrugated pipe. Water comes right out, no problem. One of the most daunting tasks for the homeowner is to tunnel the sidewalk. You can see we've got our line coming under that walk and we're discharging it further down the hill. It's got great fall down that hill. But how did we get under that walk? Let me show you how easy this is, and you can do this in 10 minutes. The secret is to find the bottom of the concrete, then take your shovel and pry the dirt loose from the top. You see how I'm pushing it off of the concrete from the top? And then you come back and you clean out that trench. And you'll get quite a bit of dirt out at first. Sometimes you'll just get a little bit of dirt out, but that's okay. Keep working at this. Another tip, make sure you have enough room to put your shovel down in that trench. In other words, prep work. Make sure you have a pretty long trench because we're using a very long-handled shovel. I've slowed this video down so that you can actually see how much work it takes. And it does take some effort, but you can do this. Like I said, sometimes you get a little bit of dirt out, sometimes you get a whole shovel out, but eventually you're going to get through this walk. Another secret is to keep this trench wide. If you have resistance on the side of that trench, your shovel's not going to get underneath of there. During our live help sessions, a lot of questions about how to get under the walk. And some people have told me that, it takes them 2-3 hours to do this. But if you watch this video, you'll see how we get underneath the walk in about 10 minutes. This sidewalk is kind of unusual because we've got the bricks on top of the old sidewalk, and that makes it really a deep trench. Luckily, we have plenty of fall to go this deep. Remember to keep your trench wide. When you have resistance on the side of that shovel trying to push it underneath of there, you're not going to get very far. So take a few seconds every now and then to widen that trench, and your shovel will slide right underneath of there. Pull that dirt out. You can see the pile of dirt. It's coming right out of there. And within just a few seconds, you're going to have this done.
So I switched over to the tunneling shovel. Let's go see what he's got going on over there. Got a nice deep trench, I like that. Oh yeah, you're doing good.
Notice how he's scraping at the top of the concrete, pulling that dirt away from the top of the concrete. The reason that we want to do this is, number one, we don't want a big belly underneath of this walk. Number two, it makes it so much easier to get underneath of the walk. Once you pull out a bunch of dirt off the top, you come back with your shovel and you scrape it out. Come back with another shovel and clean this thing out. Teller's going to go ahead and use the larger shovel. There's a lot of dirt laying there, so you can pull it out a lot easier with a bigger shovel. Comes right out. Looking good. Again, you'll get this in about 10 minutes if you just keep working at it.
Yep. So basically you go as far as you can with a regular shovel, and you can see how far this goes under. This goes under pretty far. We're going pretty much to the end of the metal right here. So we're about almost halfway. Then, kind of look in that hole, it's kind of dark in there. Then we take our tunneling shovels and these go pretty quick, but they take less soil out. So let's get started on that. And the way I like to dig is like this. Just straddle the trench. I'm going to be pushing the shovel underneath my legs to take it out. Let's take a look.
When you're using the smaller shovel, another tip is to twist that shovel. As you sink it in there, give it a little twist. This will help keep your trench wide and also pull out even more dirt. Don't forget to stay at the top of the sidewalk. Pull it down and then pull out the dirt. It will come out of there, I promise. The other tip, like I said, make sure you have enough room to put your shovel in. Notice how deep and how long this trench is. We're almost through here. Just a matter of minutes and we'll get right through. For the French drain and yard drain, I think the sidewalk really is the most daunting task for the homeowner. But I promise this is not that hard to do. And if you really understand how to pull the dirt out, it will make such a major difference.
Yeah, you hear that? That's coming through, man. Feel it? Yep. So that took about 10 minutes. Didn't take long. Trench, Tilly. Way better than my side, man. Hell yeah. Looks real good.
Once you have your tunnel under the walk, you can easily slide your pipe underneath. We're using corrugated. It's not a problem. You can use PVC, but we're using corrugated. Slide it through the trench, clean out the mud that got stuck in there, of course. And now we're going to hook this up to the rest of the line. You can see the T here coming from the main line. It's really that easy. Snap this pipe together, and we're ready to go ahead and cover this up. This area was holding water between the catch basin and the sidewalk. It ran off of the street and it just flooded right here. We've installed the catch basin, attached all of those yard drains and downspouts to the system. It works great. Now all the water goes on the other side of the walk and is carried away.
Okay, we're testing the line, just putting some water in this catch basin that we've already installed, and it's running in here great. Of course, this line comes down. You can see the straw. It's underneath of there. It picks up a couple of downspouts. This one, that one in the corner comes out. It also picks up another downspout in that corner over there, comes in, wise into it here, comes on down the hill.
We added this catch basin because it was flooding between here and the sidewalk. Catch basins play such an important role in all yard drain systems.
So there's a T right here, and it goes right out underneath the walk. And you can see our water coming out real nice down here at the other end. Nice flow.
So that's one example of how to tunnel a sidewalk. Let's take a look at another example. I promise this is not that hard to do, and it should not stop you from trying to do these jobs yourself.
So to tunnel a sidewalk, it's the same no matter where you live. Basically, you need to do some prep work. We need an area that we can put a long shovel under first, and we're going to scrape at the top of the sidewalk and scrape down. Then we come back underneath and pull the dirt out. We go all the way as far as we can go with the big shovel, then we'll switch over to a trenching shovel. And the trenching shovel is a 12-inch long spade, about 4.5 inches wide, coming up to 6 inches wide. This is what we use to actually get underneath of the sidewalk. We'll do the same thing on the other side, a little bit more tougher over here with a sprinkler line in the way, but we should still be able to get through that. And then we'll come out here to the curb and we'll discharge at a pop-up. So with your large shovel, find the bottom of that walk and It's right there, about 3-inch pour. And now we're just going to start by slowly coming through. We want to get it off of the top of that walk. And then come back and take it out. So once you've used your large shovel and you've went as far as you can under there, you'll notice that you can't really get any more leverage with your large shovel. So we went as far as we can. And to give you the example of how far that is, it's about almost halfway with your big shovel. Now we're going to use our trenching shovel. And this is that smaller shovel. And it's just giving me more leverage, still doing the same thing, scraping at the top, pushing down, come back. And even if you just get a little bit of soil out, it doesn't matter. It's all going to come out. So we'll continue this on this side. We've already done the other side as well. Pretty soon we'll be in the center and we'll be able to push a piece of pipe underneath. Okay, in just about 7 minutes you can see just how far I'm underneath the sidewalk with this shovel. Okay, so just in a few minutes I'm going to mark this and we'll put it up here so you can see where we're at. And I mean, we're just a few inches from the other side. I'm actually breaking through at the top. We'll go ahead and take a video of that in just a second. So you can see this is a long tunnel. We just need to clean out that intersection and we'll be able to pull our pipe right underneath of here. Okay, so we've pulled our pipe underneath the walk. Had to go underneath of the cable and underneath of the sprinkler line as well. Those things make it difficult to tunnel when they're in your way, especially when they're at the same depth you want to be. We're discharging out here at a pop-up drain. If you remember what a pop-up is, pop-up emitter. Water comes down the line and then it lifts up this little lid and disperses across the area. Pop-ups work okay, not too well in a level yard. It would have been nicer if we could have went and cored through this curb right here, because then we'd have 4 more inches of fall to help that water escape. Remember, this yard is fairly flat and we're starting about 130, 140 feet back in the back there. So we want that water to be able to run downhill. Gravity, water runs downhill. We've added catch basins in low spots so that as surface water floods across, it'll drop into the basin and be carried away. Tried to put them in the low spots of the yard. But for the most part, I believe that we're going to catch the bulk of this water without any worries. We've hooked up to the downspout drain here. This is where the line begins. Now all we need to do is cover, straighten up the soil and sod. Okay, now we're going to simulate it with today's pipe, and you can see there's holes on the one side of the pipe. This is the perforation. These holes point down. We'll set that into the trench. As it rains, water comes down through the gravel and floods up into your pipe, and it will enter those holes which are on the bottom. If those holes are pointing upward, that water has to rise all the way up here before it can enter the hole. So we put our holes pointing down, and now we're going to cover it up with gravel. Now let's just simulate by putting our garden hose out here and see how long it takes for the water to get through the pipe, through the gravel. pretty good rainfall. We're adding water to the gravel. The water goes down through the gravel to the bottom of the trench and will eventually begin to flow. It flows through the gravel first because there are voids in the gravel, but as we add more water directly, it will start to flow through the pipe. And that's why holes point down. You can see the water coming through the holes. Floods up from the bottom of the trench into the pipe and is carried away.
Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.